going on, you guys? I decided to review one of my favorite movies of all time. And for the first time on my channel, I'm reviewing a movie that has Robin Williams in it. Oh yeah, this is my favorite Robin Williams movie ever. This is my review of Mrs. Doubtfire. The story is, it's basically about a married couple that decided to divorce named Daniel and Miranda. They get divorced and in order for him to see his kids every single day, is at first he's given like just every Saturday, and he decides to dress up as a British woman thanks to his brother.
This isn't working, but don't worry, it's a work in progress. You're my brother. I will never let you be embarrassed.
Trust me, I didn't walk out on Mulan. I'm not gonna walk out on you. So over time, Daniel as Mrs. Doubtfire bonds with everybody, and everyone bonds with Mrs. Doubtfire, even though they don't know that it's actually Daniel. And he gets Miranda to open up about their marriage, and that makes the discovery that it's actually Daniel all the more tragic. It's decided that Miranda should have, full custody of the kids until further notice and all that. And it looks very bleak. But then she has a change of heart. She ultimately decides that it's for the best. They give him joint custody. He spends every day with them after school. And it all works out. He becomes a permanent nanny. And there is a speech that Mrs. Doubtfire gives, because Mrs. Doubtfire ended up getting her own show. And so it's a children's program, and she's like responding to fan mail. She's reading a letter from a little girl that's her parents are going through a divorce, and I can't really show you the clip. One, for the sake of time, and two, it's way too long to show you the whole thing. But if you go on Disney Plus and watch Mrs. Doubtfire, at the very, very end, I swear, knowing that Robin Williams is no longer with us, you can imagine that it made me teary-eyed. And I think it's interesting that they made it so that Daniel and Miranda don't get back together. They learn to get along with each other for the sake of their kids. But it sends a positive message. When a married couple decide to divorce, sometimes it's for the best that they're apart. Now, looking back on this movie, it's a lot dirtier than I remember.
I have 2 girls and a boy.
Oh, a boy. Don't hurt with the males, because I used to be one.
Piss off, Lou.
And now that I'm aware of transgender people, I can understand why some people have a problem with this movie, because of the whole, a man dressing up like a woman. Although, thanks to this movie, I know the song Dude Looks Like a Lady by Aerosmith. And this scene will always be funny. We really didn't deserve Robin Williams. Alright, so Daniel is obviously Robin Williams.
I do voices. They've come to this planet looking for intelligent life. Oops, we made a mistake.
Again, we really did not deserve this man. He's the goofy actor that he goes above and beyond to be with his kids. And he learns that, while basically undercover, if you will, as Mrs. Doubtfire, he learns that there's certain things that he should have done as a parent, and it's actually heartbreaking to see, because you see that he's a really good man, and even though he can't really take anything seriously. Oh, come on! I'm just being honest. Anyway, so you learn from Miranda that they always had issues, and it's for the best that they're apart.
I spent too much time with you, Daniel. It's over. It's over.
Oh yeah. Miranda, I absolutely love Sally Field. I loved her in Forrest Gump, and I swear, Sally Field is the ultimate mom figure. Like, you can tell that she gives it her all in this movie. She's supposed to be the straight woman, but she gives it her all with showing emotion. You can see it on her face that she does not love this man anymore. This man is not the man that she fell in love with. This is not the man that she married. It's just like, it's not who she wants to be with anymore. And you really sympathize with her. And you really see her throughout the movie. You see that she's like all like happy, fun to be around. Even though she feels like she's better off without him, she acknowledges that, in a way he was important to her. Now, Stuart. Stuart is Miranda's new boyfriend, and I'll get into it in a little bit, but they made him an actually good guy. I'm actually kind of glad that they took a break from the whole, the other guy has to be a jerk cliche. It's just like, you see that in every single rom-com. And in some instances, it's funny. Like Sack from Wedding Crashers, that is actually a funny character. He's easy to make fun of. It's easy to make fun of his name. And he's just there to be a jerk. But no, they make this man lovable. It actually shows that people can change, because you learn through exposition, he doesn't want kids and wants nothing to do with kids, and doesn't want to date anyone with kids. All that junk. And it really says a lot that people can change. It says a lot about him, that while he does bash Daniel at times, looking back on it now, I didn't even notice this, but him and Daniel never formally meet until Mrs. Doubtfire's exposed. That's the only time they come in contact with each other directly, knowing who they are, knowing that it's Daniel. And instead of getting mad at Daniel, he's just like, sorry, man. What I didn't like is the court seemed to take Miranda's side just for being the mother, when it's been shown, this is really just an issue I have with the world. It's been shown in recent years especially that sometimes the mother isn't always worthy of being given full custody. Like, you see, parental alienation happen, especially on the mom side, and yes, it does happen on the dad's side, but I feel in a way Miranda sort of parental alienated Daniel to some extent. But I mean, I get that she had a reason to, because she had to feel like the adult, and she basically felt like she was raising her husband along with her kids. I get that. But yeah, she alienated him. Even though the kids didn't go against him because of what she was saying. But you see that a lot in the real world, but still. And there is one scene when she's bashing Daniel, and then Mrs. Doubtfire's just like, excuse me, dear, I think it's proper you ask the children to step out of the room before you bash their father. Well, if I did that, I'd never see my kids again. I get that she was joking, but still. Alright, so my final thoughts. This is my favorite Robert Williams movie because, not only because it's funny, but because it's heartfelt, And as I said before, this is definitely not for kids. And I'll be honest, this movie really holds up. Like the makeup that he was given to look like Mrs. Doubtfire. Not only is it believable, but for 1993, it's pretty impressive. And also, when you get used to him using the Mrs. Doubtfire voice while in makeup and all that, made up to look like a woman, made up to look like a woman.
Watch your mouth, young man.
Tell me that's not hilarious to hear his voice come from that figure. Just like you see him dressed as a woman, he looks like a woman, and he makes you believe he's a woman, and then all of a sudden you hear his voice. I'll be honest, every time he broke character like that, anytime Daniel broke character like that, I legit laughed my ass off at that. And fun fact, actually, Robin Williams and his then wife produced this movie. Not only that, the man that directed this movie also directed the first two Harry Potter movies, and he made Gremlins. If you go back and watch Chamber of Secrets and Sorcerer's Stone, and then watch Mrs. Doubtfire, you're just like, oh yeah. But Chris Columbus is a great director, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Robin Williams improvised most of his dialogue, because he could just like come up with rapid fire jokes like right off the bat.
Look at this. My first day as a woman, I'm getting hot flashes.
And apparently in this scene he was actually getting hurt. So you gotta give it to him for his dedication to the role. Overall, I wanted to review this movie because, you know, having parents that are divorced, it sucks. And obviously my parents are divorced. They've been divorced. Like, their divorce was finalized almost 2 years ago. And now my mom is remarried and they're happy. They're happier apart. And they do, you know, they don't always get along, but hell, that's people in a nutshell for you. It's getting late and it's almost midnight at the time I'm filming this. Until next time, stay positive everyone and stay awesome. And happy Thanksgiving. See ya.